Raider Nation, it's go time. What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Exacting Raider, co-host of the Raiders Primos and the Real Raiders Talk. Man, what a weekend it has been. Our Raiders have finished the preseason 4-0. It is the first time in franchise history where they beat the New England Patriots 23-6. And overall, I'm excited. I'm excited to get on with the season. 2 weeks away from now, we open up against the Los Angeles Chargers in week 1. And I'm really excited, but of course, I'm also nervous, if I'm honest, because we didn't see the starters play a lot. We didn't see, like Derek Carr, Davante Adams. And of course, you want to play it safe with those guys. You don't want to risk injury. That's how it's been in the NFL. Zach Wilson, he got injured. I believe it was last week he got injured, or in preseason week 1. And, you want to avoid the injuries. But I would like have seen Derek Carr and Davante Adams connection, only because we don't know what we're getting out of them. They had their time in college. They have that connection at Fresno State. They have the connection that they've been working out in all the offseason. But I really would have loved to see how they would gel in the NFL, going against, some first stringers or even backups, just to see where they are gelling at. But all in all, we finished the preseason 4-0. I'm excited. But even with the win, there was a couple of losers of our players, and our Raiders are going to cut down from 80 players to the final 53 on Tuesday. And I believe it's going to be a really tough decision-making for Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler to really cut this team down to 53. They have a lot of depth in a lot of good places. At running back, they got Britton Brown. They have Austin Walters that they have to, figure out who's staying. I believe Britton Brown is the one that's going to be staying. Austin Walters, they might move into the practice squad, but I believe someone's going to pick him up. If Britton Brown does get moved to the practice squad, hopefully, they can keep him on the practice squad by protecting him so no other team can take him from the practice squad. And then our wide receiver group, Keelan Cole, Tyron Johnson, and DJ Turner. I believe they were fighting for that last spot. I know we have Davante Adams, we have Hunter Renfrow, and we have Matt Collins, who I believe he secured himself a spot by not playing. I don't even think he played preseason week 2. I think he only played in preseason week 1, and then the second game against the Dolphins and against the Patriots, he did not play. So I believe that locked him a roster spot. So we have 3 wide receivers. We do have Keelan Cole, who could be the 4th wide receiver, but then there's the 5th wide receiver. Who is it going to be? Tyron Johnson or DJ Turner? Leave a comment, guys. Who you guys think is going to be that last wide receiver on the Raiders depth chart? Personally, I gotta give it to DJ Turner. I mean, it's really hard because I want to keep Tyron too. I want the Raiders to keep Tyron because Tyron could be a deep threat, but so can DJ. DJ has a lot of speed to him. My boy Natural Nate is in the building. Welcome, bro. Yes, sir. Raiders. Let me hear it. Raiders. Love it. But yeah, DJ Turner, it's really one of those tough decisions. I mean, I'm glad I'm not Josh McDaniels, but they asked him in the press conference. They asked him, is this, the part of being a head coach that's really difficult, and being, having to cut people, having to, cut the guys that gave their all for you these past 4 games. And he said it's one of the most toughest decisions to be in as a head coach. That you have to let go of some guys that, that they played and gave their heart and soul into the organization, not only just for these preseason games, but through OTAs, through training camp, through mini camp, through all of the meetings that they had, he said it's really a hard decision to let somebody go. So with that being said, I believe the Raiders are going to keep 5 wide receivers. If they keep 6 wide receivers, then they could keep Tyron and DJ Turner together. But I only see them keeping 5. If they keep 6, that's going to be a lot of players that you're having towards the 53-man roster. So I only see them keeping 5. But let's recap, guys. So as you guys probably have seen, if you guys have not seen it, the Raiders beat the New England Patriots 23-6. The Raiders defense was the star of the show as they created 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble. And then Chase Garbers, he played the majority of the game. Jarrett Stidham did come in. He played for about like 2 drives. He was 4 for 6, 72 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He did not get sacked. And this is, speaking of the sacks, this is a key stat. Chase Garbers, he was 12 for 22, 141 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and he only got sacked 2 times. I really like that from the past preseason games through the Hall of Fame game to last week. We were giving up like four sacks a game. It felt like our quarterbacks were just in the pocket, running for their life, really not getting their feet set. And to only see 2 sacks, but Chase Garbers did have 8 carries for 17 yards, so he was scrambling a lot. You don't like seeing that out of your star quarterback, that he's even close to being the leading rusher in the game, as our leading rusher was Britton Brown, 11 carries, 28 yards. He did have a touchdown rush. Our running game is going to be, I feel it is going to be better because we got Jacobs. You know, these are backups playing. We got Jacobs. We got Zeus. You know, we have Amir Abdullah. We have Bolden. And it's going to come down to Brown or Walter, who's going to be that last running back. Or if they even keep 5 running backs, they might even keep 4, and that might be the 4 that's going into the season. Abdullah, Zeus, Bolden, and Jacobs. But I would like to see our rushing attack. These past 2 weeks, our rushing attack has not been really good, but that also goes to the offensive line. And speaking of the offensive line, this man, Alex Leatherwood, guys, I hate trying to, beat a dead horse here, but Alex Leatherwood for the second straight week I wouldn't say he had a terrible game like last week, but he didn't have a good game. Again, this was a game that he had to show himself to the coaching staff that he could stick around. And it seemed that on every snap that Alex Leatherwood was just getting beat. He was looking slow off the line, off the ball. And on running plays, he was just getting dominated. There was a back-to-back play where Josh McDaniels called a run to the right, and Britton Brown got stuffed twice, and it was on Leatherwood's side. And you just see Leatherwood is in a stalemate. He doesn't even move, his guy. He's just moving backwards, or he's not moving at all. Hey, there it is. Leatherwood getting used. He was, man, by another team, man. Now, with that being said, I believe Jermaine Illuminor is going to be our starting right tackle. He just had a better game. He didn't allow a hurry. He didn't allow any quarterback hits or any sacks. He was getting off the ball tremendously fast. If you guys want to see film study on Jermaine Illuminor versus the past, go check out Sanjay T on YouTube. He does Raiders film. Go check out his channel. Go leave him a like. Go sub to him. That man leaves amazing film work on our Raiders players. He did a fantastic film study on Jermaine Illuminor, and he convinced me that Illuminor is going to be our starting right tackle. With the way that Leatherwood has been playing these past 2 weeks, I don't believe Leatherwood is going to get a tackle position. I don't even think he's going to get a guard position. I believe that those guards position is going to be taken by Dylan Parham and by John Simpson. Lester Cotton, he had it for like maybe the first 2 weeks, but these past 2 weeks he fell off and he was just getting beat off the line. And with these weapons, me and Nate have talked about it in the past. With these weapons, you want to give Derek Carr time to throw in the pocket. Since the last season, we'll go based off last season. Alex Leatherwood, he played 1,104 snaps, offensive snaps. He was in third place for most penalties. He had 14 penalties and he had 8 sacks allowed. Now, Jermaine Illuminor did come in, but he only played 266 snaps. He didn't have no penalties, no sacks. I would love to see a full season with Jermaine Illuminor. Really, Alex Leatherwood is my loser for this whole preseason. He was coming into this preseason hyped up because of his social media post that he was working out, he was getting fit, but he did not show it on the field. He was getting beat by second and third string guys. And I would not trust Leatherwood to go in 2 weeks against Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa and try to protect Derek Carr on his right side. I just feel like it's not going to happen. Derek Carr would have a long day on Sunday, and that's going to be the recipe to lose. The way we need to win is to build through the trenches. And even though our offensive line has been shaky through this whole preseason, and we still have questions, we don't know who is going to be the starting offensive line. My prediction is of course Colton Miller on the left side, and then on the left guard it's going to be John Simpson, and then center Andre James, and then right is going to be Dylan Parham, and then at the right tackle is going to be Jermaine Illuminor. We know Brandon Parker is out for the season. The Raiders have not said that he's out for the season, but we know he is likely out for the season. Give me your comments. What do you guys think is going to be your guys' starting offensive line? If you guys were to say your starting offensive line, who would that be? Switching over to the defensive side of the ball, Luke Masterson, he had himself, I would say, a great game. He did have an interception that was like a gift. It was straight through to him. It was thrown straight to him. But he had 6 total tackles. He had 4 solo tackles. He had 1 pass defended, and he did have the 1 interception. Darian Butler, who slowly has been coming on the rise, he has 7 total tackles, 3 solos, and he had no sacks, no tackles for losses. He had no passes defended, and then our cornerback, Sam Webb, he had 5 total tackles, and all 5 total tackles was 5 solos, and he had 1 pass defended. I really love the depth that the Raiders have at the cornerback position and the linebackers. Last season, the Raiders were really getting eaten up by injuries in those positions, in the linebacking position and the cornerbacks. So it's really nice to see that they have depth. They have, Sam Webb, Amik Robertson even started showing some flashes. Hopefully that translates to the regular season if he makes the 53-man roster. I don't know if he is. He's really on the bubble with that. Because Sam Webb played a hell of a game. I think if it comes down to Sam Webb or Amik, I think Sam Webb beat Amik out for that last cornerback position. I'm really excited for the season, guys, mostly because of the depth that we have. I haven't seen our team have this much depth in a very long time. Last season, even though we made the playoffs, we were really thin at cornerback. We had to pick up Brandon Faison, who was a former Charger, in free agency, I believe it was week 6, and he instantly became our starting cornerback. And he was a decent starting cornerback, but he was getting targeted, of course, with Casey Hayward covering the other side. He was shutting down the other side. Now we have Rockinson, we have Nate Hobbs, we have Trayvon Mullen, who's still questionable. We have Anthony Aver, we have Sam Webb. We have depth at the defensive positions, guys, at linebacking and cornerbacks, and even the defensive end. We have Malcolm Kuntz. And we have Neil Farrell, who stuffed a couple of runs. He had 1 tackle, 1 solo. He was in some plays. It's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but he did fill some holes. I do like Curtis Bolton, but I think he's another guy that's on the bubble. Hopefully they can figure something out. Maybe have him on the practice squad. Matthew Butler is another guy, but he's our draft pick, so he's going to see some playing time. Myron Tagovailoa, he did. I believe he almost got a fumble recovery, but he ended up not. And he did end up getting hurt. I believe he hurt his shoulder going for the fumble. Tashawn Bauer is another guy. He's a defensive end, and they give a lot of defensive line depth too. We got Tashawn Bauer, who had 5 total tackles, 5 solos, 2 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 1 quarterback hit, and a strip sack. The stat sheet is thrown off with Tashawn Bauer, and I feel like if Tashawn Bauer could play up to that level that he played in the preseason, if he can match that with Chandler Jones and Max Crosby, this defensive line can really be dangerous. What do you guys think about our depth? I think that's really the winner is really the Raiders, really. I will say that. The winners of the preseason is the Raiders, because what the preseason showed me is that the Raiders have depth. That if somebody goes down, I feel us as fans, we could trust that Sam Webb can come in for Trayvon Mullen, or he could come in for Nate Hobbs. God forbid that Nate Hobbs goes down, or even Anthony Averett, if he could come in and play the outside. Man, fuck Isaiah Zuber. Put him at safety. Just kidding. But man, you can put Isaiah Zuber in safety. He'll get you an interception, unless it's a gift, because both those interceptions were basically gifts to the Raiders defense. But yeah, love the depth that I'm seeing from the Raiders. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited to get started. Again, it is 2 weeks from today. Like, if in 2 weeks, man, the Raiders would be playing in 50 minutes against the Chargers. What do you guys think? What is your guys' final thoughts of the preseason? Leave a comment. And like I said, this was going to be a short video. I just want to hop in here and talk with you guys. It wasn't going to be a long video. Quick review. Raiders finished 4-0 in the preseason. I believe we have a lot of depth. Luke Masterson, I believe he's on the 53. Sam Webb, I feel he's on the 53 too. I feel he beats out a Meek, just to summarize it. But on your way out, guys, leave a like. If this is your first time checking out the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you can get notified of future lives just like this. Shout out to my boy Natural Nate. He couldn't make it today. He had other personal reasons to attend to, but shout out to him, man, for still setting this live up. Still, I give all credit to Natural Nate, man. That man, I don't know where this podcast would be without him. Give him all the love, you guys. Shout out to him. And as always, bro, go Raiders!